Welcome back to the channel. Now this video was originally supposed to be about this. The Sony ZV or ZV1, depending on where you are in the world. And my plan was to take this tiny little camera cycling with me. Unfortunately, I've been called into work and I need to do a presentation tonight. So I need to set up my video conferencing setup, which is a bit of a mess at the moment because I was filming some talking head videos with the Red Komodo. So it's a bit of a mess at the moment. It's a bit of a pain to cancel my holiday, but it is raining outside. So even if I hadn't got called into work, I wouldn't be able to go cycling with the camera anyway. So this isn't going to be an exciting video at all, but it does allow me to test out a lot of equipment that I haven't necessarily used before. The first being the Sony ZV1, see what this picture looks like. As you might be able to see here, I'm using a Roade Lavalier mic plugged into the Roade Wireless Go 2. Again, new pieces of equipment for me to play around with. And so while it might not be too interesting, it does allow me to bring together a bunch of equipment that I've recently got and kind of want to see how it all works together. So yeah, why don't we start getting this sorted out? Okay, so this is the current mess that I have. I need to get this camera set up for the call. And this will run via a HDMI cable down to the computer and a video converter. Yes, Sony does have an app that allows you to use this as a webcam, but what I found is it's a bit temperamental. It can disappear and you end up with a back to front Sony sign. Tonight we're not making a YouTube video. This is for my day job where I make money. Therefore, it needs to work. We can't have a Sony sign. So people need to see my ugly face. And this is what we're going to use. Now you'll see here I've actually got my Red Komodo set up. This lens needs to move onto this. I can't use this for my video call tonight. Well, you probably could with the right kind of cables, but I think it will be complete overkill to use a Red Komodo as a bloody webcam. So I need to move this out, move this in. Just other things that I'm using in this setup, which is messy. Note to self, make sure you try to tidy some shit up. This is the microphone I use and I have it on an arm and I have it boomed over. Again, it's much better than other things I've used in the past. There's an XLR. This is a, what do they call it? Katava. I think that's how you pronounce it. It's a Russian-made microphone. They're very small condensers, and I found that the video quality, the audio quality out of them is very, very good. I use these if I go on a set and we want to film somebody and record their voice and have clear, crisp sound. That might change with the lavalier mics if this turns out to be good. But at the moment, this is my go-to option. So this on a C-stand, plugged into a recorder is kind of my default recording option if we're working with clients. Now the next part of this setup is also a bit new, and I think I've gone a bit overkill. It's this dome softbox. I'll move backwards a bit. I didn't realize it was this big when I bought it, but yeah, I mean, go big or go home, I guess. But actually this light coming down onto me like this with a little lamp here, I think it should actually look nice. So I did do some testing last night. Like I mentioned, I was making a video, talking head video with the Red Komodo. So today we are going to remove this. We're going to test this out. We're going to test the sound, and then I'm going to prepare for my video conference call. And hope that it looks good. Anyway, let's start taking stuff apart and see how it looks. Okay, let's not try to smash all of this up. I guess we'll record it in case we accidentally do. And then we got some clickbait, destroying an expensive camera. So let's get that out of the way. Let's move the arm out of the way. Let's put a lens on there so we don't damage the speed booster. I have to say the speed booster with the Red Komodo is a bit of a game changer, especially for somebody who's used to full frame 35mm photography. Right. Okay, get that crap out of the way. Set the camera up. Now, I guess I could use the ZV-1. One thing I do like about this camera is like a lot of us, I'm working from home. So this does allow for a very shallow depth of field, so people can't see all of my apartment. It just looks like a blurry mess, but you'll see that once I get this set up. Right, so I'm going to put this camera down. I'm going to plug some cables in. I'm going to boom the mic back over properly. Let's see what it looks like. Okay, so everything's set up. Camera's plugged in with a HDMI cable, and here's me looking at me. There's a bit of flickering up here. Geez, this is going to get confusing. My call tonight is of a night time, so all of this light flooding in behind me won't be there. I think what would actually be nice in the image is to actually have the lamp coming in, seeing as we will be of a night time. And so that will give us a little bit of light to this side. Now, if I turn this big bad boy on, we should, hopefully, ta-da, we should line my face a little bit better. What I actually do is I'll take some video from this and drop it in here, and we'll see what it looks like. The only thing I would say is my skin looks very red. So we might need to just change the white balance. Yeah. What do you think? Does that look like a good business type call? Just to see what the image looks like. It's fine. I think this is passable for a video conference call. Hello, welcome to blah, blah, blah. It looks good enough to me. I think there's some issues here with the flickering, but what I'll do is I'll go and prepare for my meeting, and maybe before or after the meeting take another video of this and see what it looks like of a night time, so that you guys can kind of see what I've done. But I do think the big giant softbox is doing wonders, actually. I've used a lantern softbox up here before, and it bounces light all across the wall and all over here, and it looks a little bit messy. So I think this setup, once it's a bit later, will actually look pretty smart. So yeah, if you saw this ugly face talking to you during a meeting, would you accept whatever proposal it was that I was proposing? Right, taking a bit of a break from preparing for this meeting, I actually want to see, I have an air conditioning unit up here. I want to see how bad that affects the sound of this, and sort out my beard. Can you notice it? While we're here, I'll introduce you to my mate Bob, who lives in a tank. There's a bit of film over the top of the water. And Bob is a Siamese fighting fish. Hey Bob, what's going on? He was in a little cup when I found him, and I'm not a big fan of supporting pet shops to do that, but he looks so sad. And he's now got a nice big tank with lots of plants, places for him to hide. However, there are a bunch of snails. I keep getting snails. Does anybody know how to get rid of snails? The other thing with Siamese fighting fish is the males make nests, little bubble nests all over the top of the tank. The girlfriend keeps saying to me, maybe Bob's lonely and needs a girlfriend, but I'm pretty sure we shouldn't put him and a girlfriend together, so they're called fighting fish for a reason, right? So if anybody knows if it's healthy for Siamese fighting fish to make bubble nests, the male ones, I assume it is, but let me know in the comments down below. Right, I guess we'll go back to work. So my initial impressions of the ZV-1 after using it all today is that for me, it's actually a great little camera. It's great for vlogging and doing these kind of videos and not really thinking about it. I think one of the things people forget about YouTube is that it's originally very gonzo in style, and you know, we have all these polished videos now that have huge budgets and look more like TV shows. But the original kind of idea of YouTube was someone like me talking to a camera like this, very gonzo, very unpolished. Maybe I should have a script. It might actually make editing these videos a lot easier. The one thing that I would say about the camera that's a bit annoying is I don't think the wide angle, this is currently at the widest angle, and if I hold it, it's not too bad for me, but I think people with shorter arms might struggle to kind of get that vlog look. Additionally, I don't want to be standing with my arm all the way out constantly like that if I'm doing a vlog. It's just my personal opinion, but I think a slightly wider angle lens would have suited this camera a bit better. Another kind of criticism is the widest angle, actually the lens protrudes the furthest, which is a little bit annoying. I'd prefer if that was the smallest and then it kind of came out a bit more telephoto towards the other end. But they're two small criticisms. In terms of video quality, I won't do that in this video. I'll do that in a follow-up when I've had a look at this video in the edit and see what it looks like. But yeah, initial impressions are good. I think I will use this a lot more. I guess the obvious question is, if I own something like this and I also own a Sony A7iii, why would I go and purchase what is basically a much cheaper, lower quality camera for making videos? And I guess the answer to that is just simplicity. I love the Komodo. This thing I love taking everywhere on the tripod. I just love the images that it makes. But that being said, when I'm making films or short films or commercials or corporate videos with it, everything is very deliberate. So it's slow moving. It's not the kind of camera you can pick up and, whoa, what are we doing today? It is very deliberate. It's very slow moving, and I like that. I think it looks more cinematic. For me, a quick YouTube video like this, yes, you could try and make it cinematic, but I think you end up spending a lot more time rather than just trying to actually make content. And if I look at how often I upload videos, it hasn't been that consistent. And I think part of that is overthinking and going, oh, you know, I've got these fancy cameras, I'm going to try and make fancy video. Really, I just want to sit down, talk to the camera, talk to you guys, try and grow this channel up to a reasonable level. That's one of my goals for 2022. But I end up getting way too technical if I take the Komodo. And similarly with the A7iii, the A7iii is actually it's great for vlogging, but what I tend to find is if I'm walking around with the Komodo, or I'm walking around with a Leica film camera or a medium format film camera, carrying another full-size camera is a bit of a pain. So that was weird. Something I didn't realize, the camera actually stops recording after 5 minutes. It just cuts out. I don't know if that's because I haven't changed some form of setting or I need to play around with something, but worth keeping in mind. I didn't expect the video to cut out after 5 minutes of me rambling on. Anyway, it's still raining. It's not dark enough to show you what this setup is going to look like. I've got the big light on now. So yeah, what do we do now? I guess have a cup of tea and look at the rain outside. If you made it this far in the video, you're either a little bit mad or a legend. I'm not sure which one. But this is the final lighting scenario we ended up with for the Zoom call. I probably could have stuck some LED lights behind me and made it look all fancy and pink, but it was a business call. So there you have it. We've made a video. I don't know why it took so long, but it did. One thing I noticed when I was doing some of the post in the earlier video is this Sony camera applies a horrible filter to your skin, and it's on by default. So I've turned it off for this bit. So hopefully I look a bit more ugly than in the other pictures, but not so much like a South Korean pop star. Anyway, thanks for watching whatever this was, and until next video, bye-bye.